So hi there, Jeff Coughlin, editor Scale Modelling Now. Welcome to this Inbox Browse, where we're going to take a look at this new tool from Revell of the Hawker Hunter T7, T7A, which is a revision of their original single-seaters that were produced many years ago now. But of course, what we've got this time is a whole retooled front end, which of course gives you the twin-seat cockpit, and three fantastic schemes, plus a couple of other goodies which we'll get to in a minute. So let's first of all just have a look at the plastic. Well, the plastic looks really good, which is exciting. It's exciting because the original kit was released many years ago, but of course now it's in this high quality grey plastic, which is excellent. If you look at the two, particularly the two new sprues, which are these two here, you've got, of course, the whole front end, all in exactly the same fine recessed panel line detail as the rest of the airframe. So I don't know whether that's been completely retooled or not. I built a number of the single seaters back in the day, and certainly certainly the back end and the wings and all that all look pretty standard from what I can recall, but there are some additions as we go. But I really, there's some lovely detail. I mean, just check out the rear wall there of the cockpit, and here you've got almost like sort of sides of a pod that build up, really, that sit inside the two big fuselage halves to cover the twin seat version. You've got this separate and new section that you just need to insert, having just cut out a section of the top of the airframe around the leading edge of the fin, but there's a template given for you here, and then you just drop this in. So I think that's really neat. Lots of nice detail here around the instrument panels for the cockpit, back end, and here you've got choices for the instrument combing on the front, the shroud and so on, different instrument panels depending on which version that you plan to build. New ejector seats, they're not the original ones. In fact, the original ones are included, or part of them is included on one of the other sprues, but this is great to see some new ones. Got even a little ring pull between the legs here, but what's really exciting, I think, is if I just lean across, is that you've got now some 3D printed ejection handles, which is fantastic. That's a great addition. Really is going to enhance the quality or overall. You've got the main seat cushions and seat molded on a harness, as you can see here. You're going to need to find a way to adapt one of those so that they don't both look identical, which is, you know, just it's detail really. But I think to have two seats next to each other with the seat harness exactly the same is a bit naff. So that's an easy fix, isn't it? Just scrape off one set and slightly redo it with some metal foil or something like that. Yeah, we've got the cannon here, as you can see. So those are the two main new sprues. Of course, the other big new sprue is the clear part for the canopy, and as you can see here, it's absolutely pristine, crystal clear, and that's fantastic. Really beautifully molded over there, and so some of the original parts again, which of course, as I say, are in grey now. You've got a really nice wheel well over here. Other parts which certainly look familiar in terms of the upper wing detail. But I think what I'm really pleased about is that it looks like all the panel lining is exactly in sync with the original parts, the new and the original, so that's good. Get the tanks, of course. You get drop flaps too, which are here on the sprue, which you can see over here, and those are detailed on the inner faces, which is great to see. Other various pylons and bits and pieces depending on which version you want to do, and we'll get to those in just a second. I'm not sure that, I don't know, this probably is original, I just don't remember it, but that's a really fine detailed main undercarriage gear here, some lovely rocket pod front ends over here, nicely weighted tyres, and those other tanks, and this is, I think, one of the original sprues here, which have got some early Sidewinder missiles by the look of it, and so on. So all in all, I think the plastic looks exceptionally good. Really, really nice. And in fact, I can't wait to get into this. This has just arrived from Revell, and I'm grateful to them for sending it through. And I'm starting the build tonight. I'm going to get straight on with this, and we're going to build it from the box. As I said, with the minor addition or adaptation, I think, to one of those seats, just to make the seats actually look a little different. But other than that, let's do it out of the box. And then, of course, you've got these three fantastic schemes. So just to come in again, you've probably seen these. They've been well advertised on social media and elsewhere. But basically, if we just come back over here, let's get to the instructions. So you've got a T7 from 208 Squadron. That's an RAF one from Lossiemouth, UK, 1990, and that's got that gorgeous wraparound scheme, which is really, really nice to see, isn't it? So that's going to appeal to many. I've just got to say that I've got a massive soft spot for the Blue Diamonds 92 Squadron scheme here, not least of which we don't live that far from Newark Air Museum here in the UK, and they've got a T7 mocked up in this scheme there. And so, you know, I think there's just something about having seen it many, many times, it'd be quite nice to build a model of it. So I think probably that's the choice, the Blue Diamond scheme for this particular build. But there are going to be more because the final scheme on offer, of course, is N301 of the Royal Netherlands Air Force. And this is Soesterberg, Netherlands, 1968. I think this aircraft, or at least one in these markings, is flying today, or has been till quite recently. I can't remember exactly what the status of it is. But it's an absolutely gorgeous scheme. You've got that beautiful kind of high-speed silver, the day glow panels, as you can see here. And it just looks spectacular. So I will be building that scheme too on a second kit. And that's going to be going into a revised version of the Hawker Hunter monograph that I wrote earlier this year. It got published by KLP Publishing. I'd urge you to have a really good look at that. It's an ebook for obvious reasons, because it's just enormous. It's got so much content in. Lots on the real Hawker Hunter, lots of original photography, and multiple model builds. So what we can do, because it's an ebook, is go in, add this particular build to that, and that's the plan. And Kevin's signed that off, thank goodness. Thank you very much, Kev. And so that will be happening as well very, very soon. So if we can crack on with this, then of course we can get on with that imminently as well. So just coming back to the front of the instruction booklet, you've got the usual parts, indications and sprues and the rest of it. Of course, lots of parts are blacked out because, of course, they're to do with the single seat version, which you can't do from this kit. These single parts are not included. One odd thing is that they have included, Revell have included, the clear parts for the single seater. So I don't know whether there's some odd little smaller clear parts on there perhaps that are required for this build. I haven't got into it that in much depth, so we can have a look at that later. So lots of parts blacked out because they're not used. I just really like actually the explanation and the clarity of these instructions for this build. Really nice. So here's a classic example of how it's done, where you've got the options of the two different instrument panels, and of course you can choose either B and C here and use this panel, or if you're going for the RAF wraparound, then of course you would use the different panel, and so on. It goes through the build where it's clarified, and you can see here again with the separate instrument, main instrument panel combings over here, which are also great. So it's nice to see those offered up, and the choice is nice and clearly made for you. So that's it really. I think just to indicate here, just a little example here, I was mentioning about needing to add this new panel on the top of the rear fuselage, which is a beautiful little detailed panel. Just to bring you over here, it's right there. That's the one right in the middle of the screen, as you can see it there with the vents and so on. Well, in order to get that in the right place, you use the template, which you can see over here, to just mark where you need to cut, and then I guess you remove the plastic and drop that in. So we'll have a look at that, and I'll show you that when we get to it in the build. and so on and so forth, and on it goes. So that's it. That is the new Hawker Hunter T7, T7A from Revell in 32nd scale. And how good is that? How beautiful is that? That has to be one of the most beautiful aircraft ever produced, in my view. One of the reasons I wanted to do the book, to be honest, it's just a beautiful airplane. And even in the twin-seat version, arguably it's just as, if not more graceful looking than the single-seater. So there it is. There's the beautiful box art too. Can't go without mentioning that. Absolutely stunning. And that's it. So look for the build in scalemodelingnow.com. It'll be starting next week, and we are, where are we? That'll be the second week of August 26, when this has just arrived for us. Okay, that's it. See you soon.